Hi everybody and welcome to episode 3 of the Eclectic Stitcher podcast. This one is like a month and a half overdue, I guess, if I'm doing monthly, but every time I was thinking about doing it, I was sitting on the couch stitching and it was dark. And I didn't want to film in the dark. And because I have a fancy camera by my computer and I didn't want to just film with my phone, because I use my phone for stuff. So here we are. I have one finished object. I have one new start. And I worked on 3 projects total, including the finished one. And then I have a very tiny bit of haul in the last 2.5 months. Okay, so the first thing I have is my finished project. I finished Blue Jay by Carolyn Manning. It was a total of 18,000 and some stitches. Between my last episode, I finished it on October 12th, and I had done 8,015 stitches in between those 2 times to get it finished off. My next thing with this one I'm getting professionally custom framed, and it's going to my mom for her birthday or Christmas, so I need to get that done before December, because her birthday is December 1st and Christmas is then December 25th. I'm not sure which one it'll be for. It depends on when I can get it framed. It is washed. I don't own an iron, so it's going to the framers washed but not ironed. I guess technically this is the bottom, because I put this way too far down. Like, I measured it out with 2 inches on every side. And you can see horizontally, I am fine. Vertically, not so much. So I actually took a picture of this when I was working, like, in this area. I took a picture of it and I sent it to the framer that I'm sending it to, because she owns there's a local needle workshop in Winnipeg called Lizzie B's on St. Anne's, right close to the intersection of St. Anne's and St. Mary's, and she also does custom framing. And I figured she probably has a lot more experience framing cross-stitch projects than some random dude who works at Michael's in the framing department. Because my mom always said, if you're getting cross-stitch items framed, be careful who you send it to, because there's a skill to it, to do it professionally. So I think I want to get it matted right up until the stitching, because I don't want this is a really ugly, stiff, even weave from Michael's that I bought for really cheap. And I mean, it was fine to stitch on, but I don't want it showing, so I want it matted like right up until the project. And it's like 9 5/8 by 9 5/8. So yeah, I'm excited about that. I need to send it off, aka drop it off. So the next thing I worked on that you have seen before is not in a frame, and it has parked stitches. I am sorry. But once I finished that, I was working on, I don't know what fabric this is anymore. This is a 32 count. Do I still have the sticker? Although I do have the tag on it. It's a 32 count Brittany Lugana in Icy Waters. I don't know who the dyer is. I bought it from Stitch It Central. Their like little code for the dyer is POL. So I know it's not Picture This Plus, because their code for Picture This Plus is PTP. So POL. I don't know who that is. I should have Googled that. So it's a 32 count fat quarter, and I am knitting, cross-stitching, Winter Owl by, I can find that. I have access, I have ability to find who it's by, even though I look like an absolute idiot while doing it. If my server will open up. Why? Let's see. Winter Hat Owl. Sorry, it's called Winter Hat Owl. Let us continue. Let us close that. By Anya Kai. from Heaven and Earth Designs, charted by Michelle Sayetta, of course, because she's their charter. I did since August 13th. Oh, I do have a before picture. I'm going to put it here somewhere. I took a before picture. But this is fraying really bad. Oh, I should cut that. Anyway, I took it off my Q-snap because I wanted to use my big Q-snap for something else. So anyway, this is where I am at now. You can see I started putting in the pom-poms of his little hat and working on his little wings. This is his wing over here, right? This little swoop. And then the hat is like above it, and the little pom-pom has a string that goes to the hat. On the other side, on this side, his wing is under the hat. So yeah, I did a total of 1,300 stitches. I am doing this 1/1 full cross because I'm not doing the background. I just got lip gloss on my fabric. Oops. I'm not doing the background on this. The background is basically this color, but almost more like periwinkle. I think it's a combination of 809, which is one of these colors down here, and something else. I don't know. I haven't looked at it too closely. But I'm just doing the owl because I didn't feel like stitching it. And once I got the background out, it was like 77,000 stitches. I didn't feel like doing 77,000 stitches of just blue. There's no other background. It's just a blue picture with Derpy Owl on it, aka Winter Hat Owl. Oh, I just did it again. So I'm just doing the owl, and I just manually removed the background on my own. I did not purchase the background. There is official background removed version on Heaven and Earth. Somebody's requested it as a special service at some point. But I did not, I decided not to repurchase it when I had already purchased it, if that makes sense. So I just manually removed the background. The fabric's really pretty. I am going to frame it with quite a bit of space because the original has quite a bit of space around it. That's why I bought fabric that was similar to the background color so that it could just be the background, and then I could just stitch the actual bird. This is going to be a short episode, which I guess is not always a bad thing, but this is what happens when you only have 3 active projects at a time and you didn't even work on one of them in the last 2.5 months. Oh, that's not entirely true, is it? My Fox and Rabbit Sal, I don't think I put in anything since August 13th. I was so focused on getting the Carolyn Manning thing done, and then I got right more into Winter Hat Owl, and then I started the next project that I'm about to show you immediately after, and the majority of my stitches have been in that. I haven't touched this in a couple weeks, hence why I took it off the Q-snap, because I wanted to use it for something else. So that's that. The next project is on part of my haul. So I wanted to start Pandemic by Long Dog Samplers, and I had a fat quarter of, I have all my fabric right here. I have this fat quarter of Alabaster Silver Moon Newcastle linen, 40 count. But even on 40 count, this is not big enough for it 2/1. No, 1/2. 1/1. 1/1. No, 1/2. This is not big enough. Because Pandemic is very large. When I was doing the math, I think even on 40 count, it was like 20 inches by like 20 inches. Let's see, I have it here. I can pull up the details. It is 365 stitches by 429 stitches. And if I go down to the bottom here, I know it has some information. So on an 18 count, Aida, or 36 count linen. It's 20.28 inches by 23.83 inches. Going from 36 to 40 count doesn't make it that much smaller, like a little bit smaller, but not small enough to fit on a fat quarter that's 18 by 27. Like the length fits fine, but it's too wide. So I went to Stitch It Central because that's kind of my go-to for fabric because they're in Canada. So I don't pay exchange. I don't pay as much for shipping. And I ordered a fat half, basically, of the Alabaster Silver Moon. And then I also ordered a fat half of 40 count Stormy Night. I think it's vintage Stormy Night, but because I don't think it's printed on the other side. I don't think it's modeled on the other side, but I haven't really unwound it. So I have like a gigantic piece of this. It's like 36 by 27 or something. So yeah, I bought this. I was debating on using it. I had a couple different flosses that I was choosing from, and I ended up going, after talking with my mom, who's very good at stuff like this, I ended up going with 924 DMC, which is this like dark tealy. It's a dark teal, but it's got like gray in it. I don't know how to describe it other than that. It's almost like a dark pine, spruce green, blue green, spruce, blue green, gray. It kind of goes, it's actually from, what's really funny. So I kitted up Morrigan by Carolyn Manning. I have it here. These are all the flosses for it. Here, so these are all of my flosses for this project. And you can see it's a very like muted, mauve-y kind of. And then, so my Fox and Rabbit sampler is this color, 3740. And then for Pandemic, I was waffling between these three, which is 924, 3726, and 317. And my mom liked this one better. And I was leaning towards this one, but I really like this pink. I might figure out some way to do another long dog in this pink, maybe on this. I think that would look really nice. I am concerned, like if I pull out one thread, is there actually enough contrast there? I don't know. Because this is darker than Alabaster, and that fat quarter isn't big enough for any of the other long dogs that I want to do, which include Saga, Pointed Fifth. Those are the only two I can think of. Maybe Death by Cross Stitch, but Saga and Pointed Fifth are kind of my go-tos. So for Pandemic, I don't have a before because I hadn't started it last time. And it is on my Q-snap. It does have a thread attached with the needle sticking out, and it's got my little thread minder. So this is where I am. I got 3,385 stitches since I started it. And I finished that one October 12th. I started it the following week. Like the 17th, 18th. I had to wait for the fabric to come in, of course, and you can see it's pinned all around. So yeah, I'm actually almost done the first page. I'm at 4.38%, and this is pretty much all I've been working on. And I'm doing, I don't know if you can see, but I'm doing the back stitch as I go, because otherwise I'll never go back and do it, because I still haven't done the back stitch on my Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery Sal. I haven't finished the back stitch on that. Apparently back stitch is not my thing. Who would have thought it? So yeah, that's where I am. Last night I did the little squirrel and a little bit of the fire down here. I absolutely love this middle section. Like, that is like my favorite right now. I'm sure there'll be other things that are my favorites once I move on, but I still have to do another one of these hearts on this side, but that's technically on the next page. So I'm kind of finishing this up before I move on. So this will be plenty big enough. It's 27 wide and 36 long, I think, so I will have a significant chunk of it left at the bottom that I can do something else with. And it's a really nice pale neutral gray. Like, it's not super blue, it's not super brown or yellow or taupe. It's none of that. It's nice gray. And I think the 924 looks really nice on it too. It's very stark contrast, clearly, because the fabric is so light. But I am really liking this. And the fact, long dog sampler patterns are so expensive, guys. I don't know about you, but like, I understand it's a lot of work. And I understand that it is a lot of stitches. And I understand that it's going to take me a very long time to do this, because this is 77,000 stitches-ish. But it's like 42 British pounds, which for me is like almost $70 for one pattern that I'm going to stitch once. At least with a knitting pattern, I can get multiple use. I mean, I could stitch this multiple times. Chances of me doing that are very slim, because I have so many other things I want to stitch that, you know, yeah. So that's where I am with that. This is probably going to be my quote unquote focus piece. I don't really do focus pieces. I kind of just work on a project until I'm tired of it. And then once I'm tired of it, I then flip to one of my other projects. If I flip to any other project besides Pandemic, it'll probably be back to Derpy Owl. But I do want to get progress on the Fox and Rabbit stitchery thing. But right now I'm kind of like, Pandemic is my 1/2, so it's a little bit easier to stitch. I don't have to use my little magnifying glasses, whereas Derpy Owl is 1/1 on 32 count. And so it's a little bit harder on my eyes sometimes. I find that when because even stitching on my stand, my stitching is usually like about here. And going from using a magnifier to looking here to looking at my phone over here, which I have to squint because it's not close enough for my magnifier and it gets a little blurry to go back. Sometimes I have some eye strain with that, with just the change in focus back and forth. But yeah, so that was haul. That was all of my stitching. I did buy some patterns. Heaven and Earth Designs is having their Halloween sale. It might be over. Halloween's tomorrow. I don't think she runs it on the day of. I think it might end tonight. But I did buy 3 patterns. I'll put pictures up of them as I talk about them. So I bought, if they will open. Okay, I bought Fall Treasures by Malcolm Watson. It's a new one that just came out this week. I really liked it. Sent it to my boyfriend. He really liked it. And then I bought Renaissance Crow. I think it's by Whimsy Tea. I've been eyeing that one since it was released, and that was also released fairly recently. And then I bought Unafraid of the Thorns by Stephanie Puy-Monlaw, who's really popular, has 1 million patterns on Heaven and Earth Designs. This is a round one with a bird. You'll see a picture somewhere. So yeah, I really want to kind of start Unafraid of the Thorns, but I'm not going to do it on gridded fabric. So I need to buy fabric. I need to buy fabric is basically what it comes down to. In order for it to fit on a fat quarter, I would need to go down to 36 count over 1, because it is 492 by 491, and on 25 count 1/1, it's 19 5/8 by 19 5/8. Even though it's circular, you're still getting the total width and stuff. On the edges, like the middle lines are still that. And I really don't want to go down any smaller. I think I'm going to keep it at 32 is kind of right now the smallest, because I do enjoy stitching the 32 1/1 on the Derpy Owl. And this one I think I'm going to do tent. Maybe. I'm going to try it. I've done tent before on a project that I tossed because I wasn't going to continue it. So yeah, that might be the next thing that I start. But I also have like Summer Blooms by, I don't know who it's by, and Rainbow Dragon by Genovia Genevieve Art, and then Summer's Bloom by Marianne Broom. I have those two that I really want to do as well. And I have fabric for those two. So I should probably just go with something I have fabric for because, you know, it is what it is. Anyway, longer than I expected after I talked about the first one, and I was done in like 7 minutes. But I'm going to call it here. I will talk to you hopefully in a month, but we'll see. Bye.